to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Well, good morning. Anyone listening out there, welcome to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay. Big E is here. A little bit of a rough start this morning for the members of this show.
Well, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize in advance, Jay. Are you still shoeless?
Yeah. I got a soaker.
Yeah, Jay's walking around here barefoot. Thank God his feet do not look like anything like E's.
No. Yeah, so I'm walking down the stairs to the studio, and you happen to have a completely shit-colored rug there.
Yeah.
If there was a cat shit in the middle of it, you'd never know until you step right in the middle of it.
Right.
And then walk into the studio 2 steps.
Yeah.
It was a massive shit, Mike.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't know. There was really nothing left except squished shit on carpet.
Yeah, so then I hustle outside without touching the rest of the carpet.
Oh, after you took 2 full steps into the studio, maybe 3.
Dude.
And kind of, I'm not holding you responsible for
I'm
that.
not expecting to step in a pile of shit in a house.
Right, I understand
So the fact that I was able to stop after 2 steps, I think I deserve to be commended. A little bit?
I don't know if commended is the word, but
So
I'm
I
glad
hustle-
you didn't just traipse through the house. E would have just traipsed through the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Going, hey, I stink like shit today.
No,
and
I
just,
would not.
I think you maybe would have, and just carried shit around the house everywhere you went.
No.
Dude, someone got in here and is traipsing shit everywhere around this house. It's crazy. Look at this. Look, almost everywhere I go, there's more shit all over the ground.
So I was able to exit the house without stepping elsewhere in the house, get out there and start, scraping it off on wherever, pavement, edges of concrete and shit.
Great. Great. Thanks. Nothing like going out into the yard.
Then I decided I'm going to, because your pool is not, if your pool was pristinely clean, I wouldn't have done this. But you're still in the process of setting this thing up. By the way, when is that going to be cleaned out?
I don't know.
Okay. So I see basically a
Middle
pool,
July
a
almost.
pool of water.
Yeah, I don't care either. I barely used it.
And the ability to lightly rinse off my shoe seems like a good idea, right?
Oh, yeah, just dip your shit-filled shoe into the pool.
Problem is,
Nice move.
At that point, it's 5:30 in the morning. It's dark, and I see the body of water, and I go to put my shoe just above your first step, and I misjudge, and I basically just step right into your pool, thus resulting
Serves you
in
right.
the soaker
Yeah, so
and
you,
my barefoot.
And your barefoot, which has been all morning. I offered you a sock, so I feel partly responsible for that. I don't know why you wouldn't just. It's 5:30 in the morning. You know the grass is filled with dew. Why don't you just go out there and take care of it? Why would you wipe it on the cement?
There's no
and
grass. I was panicking.
Dip your
There's
shit-filled shoe. That is remarkable. I don't care what's going on in the pool. You don't dip a
Again,
shit-filled
if the-
shoe into the pool.
If the pool was pristine,
matter
never
with
would have
you?
done it. The pool is
I would
less
expect
than
that
ready.
from E. I would expect that from a child. I would not expect that from you.
I don't know. I immediately wanted this shit off my. It was really. It stank bad, dude. Worse than regular.
Take your shoe
cat
off and throw it outside. We'll deal with it later.
Worse than regular cat shit. Would you agree with that, E?
It was pretty bad.
It was really bad, man.
I
that
actually-
might have been dog shit. Was the
I
dog
came-
over here yesterday?
No.
E, did you shit
I
on the
came close
carpet?
to I came close to dry heaving, actually.
Yeah.
It was bad, man.
This coming from E. Now you know how everybody that saw the pictures of your feet felt.
Well,
Close to
The
dry. heaving.
hideousness of that foot will haunt my dreams forever.
Today's your big day, isn't it? Aren't you going to the podiatrist
Yep.
today?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no shit. Nice. You gonna film this shit?
I don't. I would-
Yes. The short
I
answer is
feel-
yes.
I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, I have no problems.
Well, then do it.
But I
He won't give a fuck. You don't have to put him on camera. You could just kind of film, not his face.
I don't know. I just feel weird. We'll see.
Just say you want to film it in case there's any inappropriate behavior on his part if he tries
Yeah,
to
just like
touch
being-
you
Say
inappropriately
that.
or
Yeah,
something.
just like being stopped at a traffic stop. Film
Yep.
that shit, right?
Yep.
Just in case anything goes awry.
Doctor, I'm doing this for my own protection in case you try to touch me inappropriately.
I don't-
Don't mind the camera, sir.
We'll see. We'll see. If I feel like I could just hold it, just like somehow at my phone, well, like, we'll see.
I think you should.
I don't have a problem with it, of course. Like,
Okay, then it'll be filmed.
that's
Excellent.
that's not what I said.
Well, why wouldn't, dude? You're the one who gets to decide whether you film it or
okay,
not.
well, yeah, you know what? I might not want to go through the awkwardness of talking to my podiatrist about filming my foot
Well,
examination.
get it on film. Nobody says you have to post it.
okay.
Good point, Mike.
Well, I'm not
At
agreeing.
least have it there in case it's worthy of a post.
It'd be a shame not to have it.
Yes. Just
Shame.
saying.
Someone mentioned shame.
Yeah.
No. We don't want to shame anybody. We don't want to put anybody on the spot. If it looks funny, we go over and say, mm-mm.
He's in a sensitive mood today. I notice he's on edge today.
Well, he's nervous.
It's probably nerves, but
And it's not just about his doctor appointment.
yeah, we're going to let him live his childhood fantasy dream out today and let him call an inning of professional baseball.
We figured being on the All-Star break and everything, people are probably missing baseball a little
Sure,
bit. I mean, we had
sure.
the home run derby last night. We've got the All-Star game tonight. But, just to fill that gap of
Yeah.
a regular call of a Tiger game.
And this could be utter disaster. He
No.
hasn't seen anything. We just basically said, okay, we'll give you a random inning. It doesn't need to be a lot of scoring. Doesn't need to be anything really. It's just an inning of baseball. The Tigers, of course, he's most familiar with the Tigers, and so we'll let him a little later call a quick inning or a couple outs of an inning, whatever. We'll see how it goes, but something to look forward to as we go forward. I wanted to mention too that Harry Mann found a new home yesterday.
Excellent. Good for Harry Mann.
I know it's kind of been sad around the house.
Did you fully vet the new owners?
I didn't. I had nothing to do with it. I'm assuming Beth did.
Okay.
She has gotten some pictures back from them, and Harry Mann's found a nice spot on the couch already.
Well, if I remember the
shy.
last adoption that occurred, the thing was immediately running wild. Was it Eve Proops?
Yeah, Eve Proofs.
Yeah, so-
who's doing awesome, by the way.
Oh, good.
Eve still has play dates with Izzy.
Oh, really?
And Eve is awesome. Yeah, Eve's doing great. So after we had that first little hiccup, and she went on a run for 3 days.
And Beth was living in the woods.
Yeah, basically trying to find it.
Eve.
Yeah. So anyway,
I actually can't believe she found that dog in the end.
I can't either. To be
That
honest
I
with
would
you,
have given up after hours. Maybe I'd do some
I
mild
think
amount
everybody
of-
in the room would have given up after mere minutes if we even went out there. But she is not like anyone in this room, so she wasn't going to do that. But I wanted to update people on Harry Mann. Yep, he found a good home. Yep, I'm out of here.
Good.
now.
Now, just
you
move
later.
Maggot Eye and you're all set.
Well, no,
Dude,
sure,
there's
another one
some
down the
nibbling.
pike, I'm sure.
There's some nibbling about Maggot Eye going on.
Yeah, and then Peter Pan moves in behind him. Is that the deal?
I don't know.
And then what's next?
Dude.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's
It's-
animals
dude,
everywhere.
it doesn't end.
The shelters are full.
I feel like we need to just take a little bit of a break. Not forever, but let's get some sort of calm in the house and get back to a normal thing. And then if we find one that absolutely it's on the on death's door, we need to take it in. Then we'll deal with that then. But for now, let's just plan for the next couple of years to just lay low.
Yeah,
for a
I
little
don't
bit.
think the Pan has a story that warrants this. You had Maggot Eye, okay, the health issue there. You had the Hairy Man who needed to recover.
Yeah.
But the Pan just sounds like a dude who's sitting in a cage somewhere. I mean, there's a million of those.
Yeah, Peter Pan is. Beth just sent me a picture yesterday and said, "Look at Peter Pan," and there's this old man, and he's just kind of an old man. He's got two full functioning eyes.
Looks like
first
a
off.
coyote, to be honest.
Yeah, she actually said that he looks like he's half coyote. Apparently, he's a good boy.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm
Yeah,
just.
has she ever said that they're bad? Has she met a bad animal before?
Yes, there are ones that'll bite and shit.
I've never heard her say anything about these animals.
Yeah,
though.
she doesn't like to broadcast that, but this is what it is. So my job now is to just keep them out of the house for
You need to impregnate
some
Beth,
sort
I
of.
think.
Is that what
I
it
think
is?
this is the solution
Yeah.
here.
Dude, I don't know what's
'cause that'll give her
worse.
time.
That might be worse.
No, it won't be. It'll be worse for
Having
maybe
a baby?
It'll be worse for like a year to 3, and then after that, it will be better, then worse, then they'll be gone.
I don't know.
I don't
dude.
know either. I don't know.
That sounds like a bad idea.
But
doesn't
see,
it,
but
Jay?
at least the kid.
Me knocking
would-
Beth up. That sounds like a bad
possibly.
idea.
Yeah,
But it would
doesn't
possibly-
even look good on paper.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say yeah, sure. No, it doesn't look good on paper or in reality. Probably.
I see what you and Gab go through because I kind of live vicariously through you guys and your parenting skills. It's a lot of fun to sit back and judge from the stands.
Hell
I got to
yes.
admit, it is like, oh, what are you going to do about that kid? He's out of control. He needs to get his grades up. Like from afar, it's very easy to sit back and point fingers and well, I would have done
Russell's
things
failing band? Are you kidding? Yeah.
I wouldn't have let him play that instrument, but whatever. Oh, you go to dance class, fine, whatever. Well, let her do whatever she wants. I mean, who's in charge of this goddamn family? But the thought of like being around a pregnant woman and
That's pregnant.
you think that'd be a handful?
you imagine-
Pregnant Beth ordering me around, probably still wanting to take in animals.
Could you imagine what
Yeah.
the baby room would have to look like?
Oh, you see
the
your
Pinterest.
bathroom. My God, that fucking bathroom's like definitely Pinterest.
Luckily,
Yeah, we're not going to go down this road, gentlemen. Just not going to do it. I don't
Does
think
she
I'm.
listen to this show anymore? Or no.
As Eminem once said on vinyl, it's rather apparent I shouldn't be a parent. I follow those that logic as well. It's
Does she listen though? Can I say whatever I want?
yeah, she listens, but you can say whatever you want. Go ahead.
I guess I haven't seen her in months.
It's
so.
it's coming from you,
No,
so
I
it's,
know.
it's not like she's going to put much stock in it anyway.
That was all I wanted. That's all I wanted to know for
He
the
needs
future.
to be better trained.
Anyways, a lot to get to today. We'll get to. I'm excited for E to call the game. I'm a little nervous for him. You know, I know it's a big opportunity for him, and you know the powers that be are always listening. So
Pure excitement for me, no nervousness.
you never know what could come out of this. I mean, I'm not telling Mario to watch his back, but you know, you never know. I mean, Rod's been on shaky ground for a while, and I don't think Gibby's killing it. So who knows? Who knows?
Despite the cancer,
E.
I don't. Was that out of taste?
Yeah,
that was out of taste.
Out of taste. Yes, extremely out of taste.
I'm sorry.
Asshole.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Anyway, a lot to get to. We'll get to the new episodes, obviously, of Ambush in Dallas. We'll get up to speed with some of that stuff as they started having the funeral memorials.
Oh my God,
yesterday.
we've got to mention the memorial, dude.
Yeah.
This thing that sprung up outside the Dallas police. I've never seen Mylar like what they have down there.
It's
There
a
are-
Mylar explosion.
Yeah, there's like packs of Mylar, just stars, and everything's red, white, and blue
Yeah.
and silver, and wow.
I want to be careful about this though, Jay, and because I think that started around. You know, they had the police cruiser parked there, and people started bringing flowers, candles, Mylar, the works, handmade signs, and so it's easy to look at that and go, "Oh my God, a mountain."
Oh,
you know,
okay. You've got a cruiser that's being piled on top of.
Right.
Gotcha.
And so for Michael Brown, I think he was starting pavement level,
Yeah.
and what you saw is what you saw.
Well, I was going to call a rodent risk, but if you're saying that there's a cruiser underneath, then that makes more sense.
At least in the one with the tremendous Mylar. I mean, they're trying to out Mylar each other.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the things I've seen, usually you'd get like the circular balloon with, get well soon, happy birthday, and all that shit, thoughts and prayers. These are,
Yeah, it's
It's spectacular.
It's a bouquet of Mylar.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And we started seeing a lot of these spectacular Mylar presentations with Prince. I mean, they were in the symbol shape of his name.
Purple.
In purple. But yeah, these ones are amazing. They really are. If you haven't seen images of it, so we'll dive into some of that a little bit later.
Do we as a country need to, I don't know, get a better way to mourn? I think you and I identified that in the Paris attacks, how classy their memorials looked.
Yeah,
All the flowers and candles, just so.
a lot of candles, a lot of fire hazards, but
It was beautifully done.
yeah,
Whereas we've got the rain-soaked teddy bears, the Mylar.
yeah. remember that Paris one too when they had all the candles laid out and all the flowers as you're talking. Not a single Mylar balloon, not a balloon of any sort, really.
Area balloon.
There was no rubber to be seen. But then they had what they thought were more gunshots in the city.
Oh, yeah.
And remember those people just
Hauled ass through there.
fucking flying through their candles, being toppled. It was like, oh man, this whole city's gonna go up in flames.
Yeah.
So
What is the point of these?
what?
I'm just looking.
The memorial.
Yes.
We all mourn in different ways. We all show our respects in different ways.
Walking by, giving some flowers.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with them afterwards. What do you do with all that?
Throw it away?
Does someone break that down at some point?
I don't know.
Have to.
It's that is why legit a lot of people will be like, in lieu of flowers, in lieu of this and that, please
Yeah.
donate to the that's real when you see memorials of that size.
Yeah.
Just think if people contributed the money to something useful.
Yeah.
So just getting thrown away a few weeks later. That's what happens. I'm sure of it, right?
Of course.
Or what happened to those? Remember, if you remember that Michael Brown one.
Bobcat, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they to the well, wasn't it being preserved somewhere else? So they claimed it wasn't going to be.
Yeah, they tried to do a plaque. I think they did end up doing a plaque in the
Was it-
cement or something.
Well, that
All that
tree.
shit's in a pod somewhere, right?
Yeah, I don't know what you do with it.
Well, and the tree, of course.
Yeah.
Steadily growing back from the stalk that it is.
Just kept getting shot down every night.
That's so bad. It's a memorial to a kid. Let's not forget, it's still an 18-year-old kid that's
Right.
I
dead.
know.
Whether it was his fault or not,
I know.
it's still an 18-year-old child that's dead. And people are like,
imagine?
fuck that shit, not on my land. As soon as they planted the tree, it's like they're just can't wait to take an axe to that son of a...
I just
Every
would've liked-
branch was off it. It was just a stick.
I just
It was
was like,
half a stalk, and the stalk looked very, very healthy. When you cut into it, it was definitely
it'll
not
grow
dead.
back. It'll grow
I mean,
back.
it would have been tough to chop through that.
I just would have liked
For
to see
sure.
like surveillance camera. Like, did someone just wait till like 3 in the morning, look
Hell
around,
yeah.
and like, okay, boom, 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 and then just run away?
Yes, probably. The other thing that's dominating the conversation is this Pokemon. I feel like a dickhead saying
Pokemon.
Is it Pokemon?
I
Pokemon.
think so. Pokemon Go.
I can't believe we're even talking about
I
this
know,
dumb
but
thing.
it's sweeping the nation, Mike. It's swept the nation.
It's crazy what it's doing right now. They said that just a day after the July 6th is when that was released. It had already been installed on more Android devices than Tinder.
Oh, wow, man.
I mean, think of how popular Tinder is.
Yeah. E, did you know this was coming? This Pokemon thing?
You know what? I think it had been in Japan already a few months ago, and I didn't necessarily. I heard
No,
things.
it hasn't been released in Japan yet.
I swear I heard someone say, okay, well, I thought the game had been released in another country before this. But I had heard people talking about some weird Pokemon
heard a
thing coming up.
buzz.
Yeah, and I was like, what are they talking about? It's like a new game. And then all of a sudden, of course, once that day hit, I mean, your social networking feed was just full of it. Every person I knew seemed to be playing it.
And of course, you downloaded it, thereby giving them
Yeah.
access to all your Gmail,
Yes.
by the way.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I the first thing I do
Apparently.
when I wake up is go on Twitter and I just search like what's trending just to see who died, to see what we're all supposed to be outraged about today.
Right.
Whatever the outrage of the day is, will be found on Twitter first. Pokemon was trending and I'm like, dude, what is this? Like what? I didn't even click on it the first couple days. I was like, oh, I don't give a shit about Pokemon. Who cares? But it's unbelievable, man. They said that it's now threatening to overtake Twitter in number of active users.
Damn.
Dude, think
How
about
long
that
will
for a
this
second.
last, though?
It's got to have a short
Right?
shelf life. But I would have said that about Candy Crush
Yeah.
and Angry Birds. No, they got movies about this stuff now.
Good point.
So I don't know, man. I don't know what to think. Players are spending more time trying to catch Pokemon than in the real world than they are using other apps like WhatsApp and Instagram. Shares in Nintendo soared on Monday, bringing their market value gain to $7.5 billion in just 2 days. The Pokemon Go took the U.S. by storm. Nintendo shares surged by 25% in value on Monday. The game has been released in the United States, Australia, and New Zealand. Launches for other countries, including Japan, are due soon.
Okay.
That seems weird. It seems like Japan would be...
Right.
China and Japan would be right out of the gate, but
China.
some analysts have been upbeat about the money-making potential, too. So they're already talking about in-app purchases,
Okay.
which is all the rage right now.
Of course, that's really how they want you to eventually to make money on these. A lot of them, you start. Oh, if you,
Dude,
if
I'm
you freeze
I'm
up
guilty of that, by the way.
Candy Crush, if you
To
need
go to the
some help-
next level or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yes.
can't
They'll-
pass it.
Dude, they'll lock levels. Like, you can be playing a game, and they're just like, oh, yeah, you've reached a point. It's now locked for 72 hours. And you're like, fuck.
That bothers
They're,
you?
they're locking you out of the game for 3 days.
Unless
Who does that? Unless for 99 cents you buy 10 gold bars, and that will
Fucking
get
crack
you.
addicts.
Dude, it is. It is. And there are other games, too, where it's like, oh, God,
Well, that was
so
a-
close to finishing that fucking level. If I just spend the $5 now, I'm on to the next level.
That's what happened with that Paris
I don't want to
Hilton
slow
app,
my
dude.
progress down.
The what?
The Paris Hilton she had like an app game, or no, not Paris Hilton, Kardashian's game, where parents were getting pissed because they all of a sudden their kids have been spending hundreds of dollars on this game where you're trying to it was a free app, but you had to if you pay 99 cents, you get new shoes, or
Yeah.
whatever, you get a new hat, whatever.
Yeah.
And kids were just like, oh, yeah. And then all of a
So
sudden it was,
Pokemon doesn't have that yet?
probably-
I think they have a little
That
bit,
upsell thing?
and they've been like, "Well, we're doing really well with that." So I don't know. I haven't played the game enough to know.
Got to let people get hooked first, and then
oh, they're
Yeah.
hooked.
Yeah, I know.
people are doing nudes and shit now, right? Because the whole thing
Yeah.
is your camera app opens, and so people are putting the Pokemon resting on their girlfriend's ass and stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw one chick with bikini underwear on in the bathroom, and he's taking a picture, like down his chest, and his dick is one of the Pokemon coming out of the ground,
yeah.
and you can see her in the background. He's in the foreground.
Didn't take people long, did it?
Nah, never does. Never does. I've been hooked on this damn game, dude. I play it when I mix down the show. It takes, 15, 20 minutes for this big giant file of our show to mix down and bump up levels and blah blah blah. So it just takes a while because it's usually an hour and a half, 2 hour big file. And so I'll pull my iPad out while I'm waiting for it to mix down, waiting. And I've been playing that Walking Dead game, which is just a dumb game. It's retarded, but God damn it, when I get stuck somewhere and I just want to move on, it's like, all right, I'll give you $1.
Have you?
Yeah,
How much have you put into this dumb thing?
I don't know.
$100? Not that much?
No, not that much.
$50?
But what game was it that I was playing? There was a game, dude. What's wrong?
Oh, nothing.
His mic? What's wrong?
I don't know, dude. Hearing some major whatever.
Are you? I don't hear anything.
Go.
Anyway, there was a game, and I can't remember which one it was, but dude, I spent hundreds of dollars back in the day. I can't remember which one it was, but it was like, this is unbelievable. This is a child's game, and I'm spending tons of money to play this dumb thing.
Wasn't Tapped Out. I guess.
No,
Or Candy Crush. It wasn't either of those.
no, I don't
Okay.
think so. I don't think it was Angry Birds or Candy Crush or any of those, but there was one, though, that I spent a shitload of money on. It was like, I kept thinking, like, this is unbelievable. For $60, I could go buy the most incredible PS4 game they make, and here I am playing this dumb in-app, purchase game and spending a fortune. It's crazy, but that was a big deal a couple of years ago where parents were outraged because their kids were just like, yeah, I want to move on. I'll do more. But yeah, they say the makers of this game, this Pokemon game, were forced to make emergency fixes to the game, as you mentioned, Jay, because of unprecedented levels of access this gave the company.
To
because,
Gmail.
yeah, because they make you sign in through Google. They wouldn't make you, but that was the easiest way to sign in was through Google.
Mm-hmm.
And so it gave you the way that their programmers had it set up was it gave you full access. It gave them full access to your Google account, and so they could essentially go into any of your emails.
Wow.
Anything they wanted. So
Just
they're
a mistake, huh?
Yeah.
So have you deleted this shit off your phone? And
I haven't deleted it off my phone at this point. The game's developer acknowledged Niantic is the developer, and they've said, yeah, there was a coding error on Monday. They promised it will not use the Supreme Access, though. We're not going to use this.
we promise.
As if anybody would let you know if they had nefarious intentions, right?
Yeah.
They've started working on a fix to reduce the user permission needed to play the game. They were forced to admit its mistakes after computer security experts realized the video game gets this rare level of access to your Google account. One of the experts was like, "Yeah, there's no way I would download this game. Fuck that. Not a chance with that kind of
That's
access."
not my department. I'll tell our webmaster.
Thanks, Jerry.
My worry is, I guess if you erase it now, do they only
You lose all your points. Oh
no,
my god.
No, that's not. I don't give a fuck. I don't care that much. I'm wondering if I
You
erase
care a
it
little
now.
bit.
No, I don't. I haven't done any.
You don't want to start all over. You've already
haven't-
found 60 Pokemon.
I haven't done anything with the game. My
Pokemon.
point is, if I erase it now, do they already have the access already anyway? Or if I erase it, did they only have the access of the few days I had it?
Who knows?
Good
Who knows how
question.
big
It's a
your
fair
mistake
question.
was?
So, I mean, I can erase it. I'll erase it. I'm going to erase it today, probably, just because why bother?
Hey, Zotford and Holly is the one-stop shop for all of your automotive needs. New vehicles, pre-owned vehicles, service parts, and body shop. They have it all. Stop in. Tell them the King, the Beagle, or Twinkle Toes sent you. You'll get 15% off all vehicle repairs, 15% off parts, or they'll even help you out with your insurance deductible if you need work in the body shop. Zotford loves TDC listeners that much. Check out their delirious deals and massive inventory at zotford.com.
Did you see looks like sharing your Netflix password is maybe a problem.
Yeah.
I don't like
Something
this at all.
that billions of people do.
You got to stop using my Network's password.
Well, what's the deal? Isn't there
Netflix
something with
password.
Netflix where they give you like
They tell you
eight users
Netflix
or something?
is okay with it though.
I know HBO Go has said that too, but there's been a judge that's ruled that sharing your passwords for subscription services is a federal crime, punishable by jail time.
Oh no!
So I don't know. Does that mean E goes to jail or I
Why
go
would
to
you be
jail?
dude,
Which one of us goes to
really
jail?
Didn't have to say this on the show, dude. You asshole.
I think ideally E should go to jail.
I think so too. I mean, I'm paying for my account.
Yeah.
He's the one stealing it. You know.
I'm not kidding. You couldn't have held off on that, dude. You didn't have to say this on the show.
What do you think?
dude.
The feds are listening right now? They're going to take your ass to jail.
I think it would have been nicer if you hadn't said it.
Well, the fact is, he's been stealing my Network's password for a couple of years
Netflix,
now,
yeah.
and if anybody deserves to go to jail for stealing a
We could
password,
retroactively punish him for those couple of years.
even
That
if
would
he
be-
discontinues his
it's only been
usage now,
6
I'm
months
still
for
thinking. I mean, I just want to get out in front of this. So
Yeah.
if any of we do have some
Full
feds
disclosure.
that listen. Full disclosure.
Both of you. He's doing the same thing right
Wait,
now.
what? Huh?
He's
Throw
not
me under
using
the
my
bus?
Netflix password.
Yeah, Jay's using your.
No,
you're
no.
using the Comcast thing, which is pretty much the same thing.
Comcast thing.
or whatever, DirecTV.
He's using Slingbox.
Illegally
He's not illegally using Slingbox.
How's that
Probably
illegal? It's meant for
not.
the main user who's purchasing the car.
Yeah,
purchasing
he
the
owns
product.
the Slingbox
Yeah.
now. I don't even use it.
Okay.
There you have it. E.
According to the letter of the ruling, anyone sharing a password without authorization could potentially be convicted of violating the CFAA, which is the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act.
Well, I have.
Come on,
You
Big
are in
E. Is that all you
violation.
I'm
got?
not.
Of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. E.
Violation!
No, I am.
Violator! Violator!
You, sir, shame on you!
Shame on you!
That-
E.
Shame!
No. We don't want to shame anybody. We don't want to put anybody on the spot. If it looks funny, we go over and say,
He's actually worried about doing jail time.
No, I am not worried about it.
Shared
I
I'm
think
not
he
worried
should
about
be
it.
ashamed of
But it's
himself.
funny how
I
it
think he
doesn't-
should go into the background.
Whatever. I'm not worried about jail time at all.
There's
Should be,
there's
according
not.
to this ruling.
there's no agreement
Well, not.
over what without authorization actually means. So it's highly, and I repeat, highly unlikely that
Highly.
sharing passwords for services such as Netflix and HBO Go would lead to prosecution.
CE, calm the hell down.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get in front of this. I mean, if one of us has to go to prison for any serious length of time, I would hope it would be E. That's all my point was, E. I'm hoping
I
that doesn't
agree.
happen.
I would too, for the
Vice
record.
versa.
Vice versa.
I agree for both of you too.
Some providers, as E mentioned, including Netflix, have publicly stated that account sharing is okay. However, Judge Stephen Reinhart wrote a dissident. I don't know if you, I can't.
Dissident?
It's legalese.
A dissent?
I,
Did he read it? Did he write a dissent?
a dissent, yeah. Did I say dissident? I was thinking of the Pearl Jam
The
song. maybe.
majority does not provide, nor do I see a workable line which separates the consensual password sharing in this case from the consensual password sharing of millions of legitimate account holders, which may also be contrary to the policies of system owners. There simply is no limiting principle in the majority's world of lawful and unlawful password sharing. The crowd has spoken!
Wow, all I got out of
Order.
that is E better watch his back. I mean,
That's what I read into
Not
that
worried
as
dude,
well.
it is E. I'll tell you.
If
and-
anything, my parents would have to worry about it because it's not really under my house. So I don't own the TV or the system that's running it.
well, I'm just
or
saying.
the internet system that's
It's
running
nice
Jay
not
and
to
I-
own anything or have any responsibility,
Right,
isn't
it
it?
is. It's
Ignorance
great.
is
I
indeed
love it.
bliss.
It's awesome.
Jay and I can speak from personal experience that when the feds do kick in your door, it is a terrifying, terrifying moment. And Jay and I have been through this. I mean,
I'll
E,
quickly point out that I'm not the one who owns any of the products being run. So
well, when those Netflix
He owns
police,
nothing in life.
nope.
Nothing.
I will throw my parents under the bus in a second to save myself.
Well,
I'm not
don't-
sure he even owns those scraggly ass pants on his
Maybe I don't.
ass.
Yeah. Well, if they do come, don't fight, don't resist. Just 10 and 2, and we'll
Again,
deal with this in
I'll
court.
calmly point out
too.
the people who are at fault, you and my parents.
That's sound reasoning.
Yeah,
It is.
of course.
I agree.
Shucking blame. Your parents did nothing wrong.
Come on, Big E. Is that all you got?
All they've done for you, you're willing to just throw them under the bus.
I don't like him,
Yeah.
his giant head, or his beady little eyes.
Did you hear about the Michigan courthouse
Oh, yes.
shooting yesterday?
Berrien County, right?
Yeah,
Dude being transported, an inmate,
yeah,
was able to take the gun away from a deputy and kill a couple bailiffs.
yeah. A couple retired cops, man. What a brutal story. People, of course, taking cover inside. I can't imagine that scene where you've just got an active shooter in a place like that. That's
all
just
too frequent.
Yeah, it's happening way too often, and the coverage it gets it's like a free commercial for anybody that's on the fence about this sort of behavior. People were scrambling for cover inside the Berrien County Courthouse in St. Joseph, which is down here. It's like 100 miles from Chicago.
Right.
It's down to that Indiana border and Michigan. But yeah, the prisoner was a guy named Larry Gordon, who was locked up on several felony charges. He was being moved for
It's like kidnapping and shit.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
Yeah.
One of these assholes was probably raping some young dude or chick. And
yeah. Well, he was being moved from a cell to the for a courtroom appearance. When a fight occurred, he was able to disarm this officer. And Joseph Sangaro and Ronald Kienzl are the two deputies, that were in the court, which is pretty standard. I don't think there's a courtroom in America that doesn't have cops on hand or security on hand anymore, right?
bailiffs.
Metal detectors. I mean, their job is to stand at the metal detector, right, and just...
Yeah, but then there's bailiffs in the courtrooms too, but they're, usually not, I don't know, as ready maybe as, and you can't blame them. Shit, dude. I mean, there's shit just being shoveled in front of the judge all day long, and you're like, whatever, I'm just a guy sitting here, and they're basically playing Pokemon Go on their phones the whole time. But
yeah, it's tough when you
it's
see
hard to be at the ready at every moment.
Yeah, when you see the same thing over and over, it's easy to criticize, like when you see activity go down at a at a prison, and some guy broke out. It's like, you hear, well, so and so took a nap at his security desk watching the monitors, and this guy was eating lunch when this all went down. And you're just like, what are these guys doing? They're in prison. What do they expect? And it's like, dude, these guys could sit there for 30 years and see nothing. Never see anything. The lights go out, roll calls made. It's just the same shit over and over and over. And then one day it goes down and you're expected to be on the ready. You can understand how guys can fall asleep at the wheel in those moments. Our hearts are torn apart. I've known these guys for 30 years. Said the sheriff Paul Bailey. It does not appear that Gordon was handcuffed. That's weird. Those guys are almost always handcuffed. I mean, you get a DUI, and then when they bring you into court, you're going to be handcuffed. Adding, authorities had no warning signs that he would be violent. Gordon took hostages for a short period, trying to leave through another door. The inmate was then finally shot by two other bailiffs who came to render aid. What was this guy's end game here? I mean, you saw an opportunity, but where did you think this was going to go? You really think you're going to get out of a courtroom?
It's like the Old West. You're going to shoot your way out and, get away. Jump on a horse and go.
Gordon's ex-wife, Jessica, said her ex-husband was an amazing man. He just got caught up with the wrong people. Gordon says he was probably afraid of going to prison and wanted to get home to our baby girl.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
Just wanted to be a good dad.
Trump ended up tweeting out thoughts and prayers and all that shit for all these families, along with everyone at the Berrien County Courthouse in St. Joseph, Michigan. I don't know if you saw him yesterday giving his press conference.
He was all over Law and Order, right? Yeah. And the Law and Order candidate. Mm-hmm. He's winnowing down his VP picks, right? We got Newt, we got Chris Christie, and then the Indiana governor, right? Pence.
Yeah, Mike Pence.
Those are the three tops, I think.
Yeah, there was the guy that was like a former Democrat. I think he might still be registered as a Democrat, but he's like, the Democratic Party that I fell in love with 50 years ago is not the party that it is, that it once was, and I'm a Republican now. And they're like, yeah, where do you stand on abortion? And he's like, well, I think a woman should have the right to choose. That guy was fucking gone.
Yeah.
I mean, he was so blown out of the
run.
That? He was like a retired general or something.
I don't remember.
And there was serious talk of him for VP for Trump, and they hit him with one question about abortion, and he was just like, I mean, that sunk that
litmus test, huh?
Oh, dude, that's it right there. And sunk him quick.
Well, shit, dude, we got the national convention. That's happening next week, right? I think it's next week.
I think you're right.
And I think Trump said originally, I'm going to announce it at the convention, but then he followed that up with, no, I'm going to go earlier than the convention, so we could know within days.
Yeah, did you see all the stuff that's banned?
From Cleveland?
Yeah.
Or around the convention center? Yeah, I did, yeah. Kind of an eclectic mix of shit. You sort of have to be MacGyver if you're going to put all this together and build a weapon, right? It was like
Yeah.
no more than a 6-inch strand of string.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but there is a long list
Yeah.
of shit. Tennis balls.
Yeah.
Which I guess you don't want people chucking tennis balls at you, but
You know what, though? In the realm of balls, I'd rather have a tennis ball hit me in the head than a lot of different balls, right?
yeah.
You agree with that?
Yes, I would agree with that.
I mean, I've been to
Super
all the
Ball or
sports
tennis?
Oh,
Super or
Take a
tennis?
tennis ball in a minute.
Really?
Yes. I remember
I know
kids
a
in the
dodgeball
neighborhood.
would be
I
better
remember
than us.
kids in the neighborhood who demanded that you play pickle with a tennis ball only.
Really?
Yeah,
And there was
I can
good
see
reason
that.
for it.
Fuck yeah.
She getting plugged in the back the whole time.
Wiffle
and
or
shit?
tennis?
Oh, of course you'd rather be hit by a wiffle ball. You can barely feel it.
Well, not those ones that aren't hollowed out, or those ones that don't have holes
Yeah,
in
but
them.
the chances that they
That's a
would
hard
go-
plastic, man. That'll sting.
But they don't
That's
go that
smarts
hard.
for real.
You have to really.
I'm
whip
not
a
afraid of a
wiffle ball.
tennis ball. Sorry, unless it's being served
coming from the
by
third
Pete
deck?
Sampras or some shit.
Yeah, those 100-mile-an-hours will
Yeah.
kill you. So anyway, they released their under their regulations for the convention, and rope, chain, cable, strapping, wire, string.
What about hold on? What about grappling hooks?
Grappling hooks are out.
Okay.
Why were you
Shit.
plant? Yeah, I'm not even going, dude. This sounds like a boring ass convention. I got to be honest with you. String, line, tape, or any other material in lengths greater than 6 feet is strictly prohibited. So you can bring 5 feet of chain. Is that what they're saying? As long as it's not 6 feet of chain, you're good. Sir, this clearly comes in at 5.5 feet of chain. I'm under the regulation. If someone shows up with any of those things, I'd be keeping an eye on them.
Yeah.
The rules prohibit any gas mask.
Just want to get baked, man.
So you came in with a gas mask and a 6-foot chain. They're like, get out of here, you. Don't even, it's right there on the list. What are you thinking? The only exception is for a person, they say anything that can obstruct air flow or alter air, this and that, except if you're one of those old birds that needs
With
an
emphysema.
oxygen tank, we'll let you in.
Gotcha.
That's okay. Also, grappling hooks, as you mentioned, are out. Unfortunately, sledgehammers are also out, which is weird. I wouldn't.
Should you even list this shit?
Hammers and crowbars are also prohibited.
Okay.
They stole my hammer when I went into the electric forest, by the way. They wouldn't let me bring a hammer in, even though we're camping.
Oh, for your tent stakes?
Yes, like, as if there wasn't enough stuff if I wanted to start whooping people around the head with, like my little hammer. Like, you know what I mean? I get it, but it's...
Ohio is a concealed carry state, which means people may be allowed to carry handguns with it.
So you can bring handguns?
Water
But no
guns
tape.
are out, though, and no tape. So are tents, other shelters. Camping is banned within a special security zone. Sleeping bags, sleeping pads, mattresses, cots, stoves. Even Cadog's hammock is not welcome
Damn.
at the convention.
They don't want a shanty town near their convention.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't want everyone just chilling there for days on end. Air rifles, air pistols, paintball guns, blasting caps, switchblades, automatic knives, a knife with a blade longer than 2.5 inches. What is a billy or a blackjack?
It's like a club, right?
Okay,
Isn't a blackjack
billy
the
club.
thing that extends.
Ah.
Like you whip
Yeah,
it out
yeah,
with your
yeah.
wrist and it extends to like 2 feet or
I
something.
love those things. I mean, for kneecaps,
Yeah.
whack.
Right.
You can really get a good thump with those sons of bitches. Those are heavy. Have you
Yeah.
ever felt those?
Oh, yeah.
Swords and sabers.
Ah.
Out. Yeah. I know, it's bullshit. Hatchets, axes, slingshots, BB guns. These are all out. Wrist rockets.
Wrist rockets.
I can't
Those
even.
are badass, by the way.
Dude, yeah, like your old Bart Simpson wrist rocket, or who was the one when we were little? Actually, before our parents' time, who was the cartoon kid that always had the wrist rocket?
I don't know that anybody
was
had
that a
wrist.
slingshot?
Yeah, just the standard slingshot. The forked.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
even understand it. I get it.
Yeah,
No, I've got 2 wrist rockets at home. They're badass, man. You put
Dude,
some
those are-
BBs in there, some Steelies.
you do have those.
Yeah.
E, would you take a shot
No.
from a wrist rocket?
God, no.
Fucking kill you.
What if we put a tennis ball in it? Because you guys have already said tennis balls aren't that
Whoa,
bad.
whoa, whoa! I just said I'd rather be hit with a tennis ball. I didn't say. Jay said specifically
I'm not
he's
afraid
not
of a
afraid
tennis
of a
ball.
tennis ball. I didn't say I didn't say they weren't that big of a deal compared to a baseball.
Lumber larger than 2 inches in width is out too.
Damn
So if you were
it.
planning on bringing a bunch of lumber there,
What about Hacksaw Jim Duggan? What does he do?
I don't know what he'll do.
yeah, I don't think you can show. Not with that lumber piece.
He's
Forget
not
it.
gonna
He's out.
walk in and go, ho, ho. Such,
In his overalls.
right.
Are overalls allowed? Do we know?
I think
Lumber,
they
no,
are.
what was the width of the lake?
2 inches.
So you
Yeah,
can-
he's fucked.
So like if you
There'll be no 2x4.
if you back it out to 2 inches, we're talking. So you're talking like that, dude. Like
You know,
you could do some damage with a 2-inch thick piece of lumber.
if you
by the
wanted
way.
to be a real asshole, what you would do probably is look at all these things on here and bring everything that you can bring, but in the regulated like length, like the chain,
Right.
less than whatever. Bring that little piece of lumber and just, well, this is in the rules. It said no bigger than 2 inches or no bigger than 2 inches or whatever.
Oh, that's funny, man.
That's what I would do. I'd bring like everything.
I'm not
on that
going.
list.
Fuck that.
Well, of course not.
Nerds. Want me to bring my tennis balls and blackjacks? Forget it. I'm out. I don't feel welcome here.
Barely wanted to go anyway. Now I'm really out.
Yeah, no, I'm totally out. I'll just watch it on TV.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Never mind.
The Dallas shooting and stuff, man. It's been wild to watch this this police chief.
Oh, he's great, isn't he?
Isn't he unbelievable? David Brown. Like every day, it's more like every day I'm more impressed with his leadership. You know, I see the press hitting him over and over, trying to get him to bite on some of this shit, some of the social things, and he's not going to do it. He is stuck. He is like, look, man, we're the law and order guys. You want to talk policy with all these assholes in Washington? You want to make new rules? We'll enforce them. That's our job. You want to ask me policy questions? I'm going to divert every time. I just have respect for the guy that's not getting involved in this.
Yeah, it really is probably the best piece of news that's come out of that story is him and the messages that he's been delivering as an African-American guy.
Yeah, who comes from an inner city too, and by all accounts has a really rough upbringing, and so it's not so easy to just write him off as an
Uncle
uncle.
Tom.
Yeah, which people love to do anytime we see one of these guys get to a certain level. It's like, yeah, Uncle Tom, he's playing for the other team, as if they're a team.
Yeah, and if the guy happened to be a white guy, these would be dead end remarks. They wouldn't be going anywhere. No one would be listening.
And that's the saddest part of all of it. Who was the guy? Stupid question, because we won't remember. But there was one cop that came out in Ferguson who I thought really did a stand-up job too. The black guy who came in like 3 days into that thing when that white guy was just like, fuck them, they don't know how to behave out here, we're taking them down. People are just getting more and more amped up, and this dude from the state police or something came in and was just like, look, man, and just calmed a lot of people down. And what do? Of course, I can't remember his name, but David Brown, I got to tell you, hashtag David Brown is fast tracking for political life if he so chooses. He was speaking after his cops were gunned down, and he basically said up on the stand or up at the podium yesterday, yeah, we're hiring right now for any of you people that want to become part of the solution. We're hiring now, which I think was an interesting message. Get off that protest line and put an application in. We'll put you in your neighborhood. We'll help you resolve some of the problems you're protesting about. I probably wouldn't protest or complain. I would get involved and do something about it. He said that he and his family have received death threats almost immediately since this has gone down. He admitted he's running on fumes. I mean, he's been on TV and
24/7.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're all worried for our safety. We're all on edge and being very careful. He said that part of the problem was that cops were increasingly expected to deal with everything from failing schools and drug addiction to dogs on the loose.
Dude, that's a great point.
It's an amazing point.
This notion that we look to cops to cure all these ills of society.
Yeah.
It really is. I haven't heard anybody put it in those terms before, and it's so true. You're looking at these guys to do so much. Man.
Yeah. We're asking cops to do too much in this country, warning that it put police departments under too much pressure. Every societal failure, we put it off on the cops to solve. 70% of the African-American community is being raised by single women. Let's give it to the cops to solve that problem as well. Policing was never meant to solve all those problems. President Obama is going to visit tomorrow, by the way. That should be a real help.
I think it's today, isn't it? But anyway, I'm
you're
interested to hear how he brings us all together, how he toes this line.
Well, it's almost an impossible task. People are so divided. Half the people are going to praise you, the other half's going to tell you to fuck off. So you're
I have
really
great
kind of
confidence
screwed.
in him, Mike.
Me too. Dr.
Maybe he'll say something inspiring like the following.
You ain't my bitch, nigga. Buy your own damn fries.
Yeah, come on, man. Just give me one of those fries. Those look delicious.
You ain't my bitch, nigga. Buy your own damn fries.
Dr. Alex Eastman, he's the deputy medical director with the Dallas Police Department, said the shootings have rocked some guys to their core that I thought were unshakable. It's time for the city of Dallas to come together. And then Brown said that the cops themselves were typically the last ones to complain as he considered introducing mandatory counseling for officers. We want to be Superman. We are the last guys to ask for help. He said that he had seen attitudes and racial tensions improve during his 3 decades as a cop. We're in a much better place than when I was a young man here. They took an inner city kid like me with flaws and made me their police chief. That's an extraordinary city, and they have supported me through very difficult challenges. And then they mentioned he mentioned the bomb that was delivered on that robot.
Yeah,
it's
baby.
$151,000 piece of machinery, that
Nice.
robot.
Yeah, and I guess what they did is they brought it right up to the other side of a brick wall that this guy was behind.
Yeah.
So he didn't see the robot coming. It's gross, I know to
Yeah.
think about, but
I don't think they can anyways. I think that's a misquote.
Yeah,
Because
might be.
I don't think they're capable of that.
So he rides up to this thing with C4.
Yeah.
Holds C4 and just lets it
Hold it.
fly, man.
He was given one warning before he decided to go in. He was just like, "Don't take the building down." He's like, "Got it." Drove that son of a bitch up there and boom! I love it. The chief said there were a couple terrified students. I just immediately pictured like Big E and TCG that got caught up there and were just like, they were hiding for 24 hours. They were just huddled together in that garage. They didn't know what was going on. They probably lost their car and were stumbling about and ended up in this parking garage. And they found them the next day.
Yeah,
like,
their
huddled together.
phones had run out, so they have no
Yeah.
link to the outside world.
They didn't know what to do. So the cops found these terrified kids, and brutal, man. The surgeon was talking about this too. We'll get to, by the way, to E's baseball game here in a minute. E, are you fired up? You're in a bummed mood. You've been hit kind of hard today, and
I'm fine.
you sure?
Whatever.
You seem like you're down. I got to be honest, Jay.
He does.
Do you feel
He
it?
definitely does.
I feel it in the room. But the surgeon who helped save the lives, see him giving a press conference yesterday.
Black guy.
Yeah, black surgeon, and talking about feeling he can see where people are coming from, the Black Lives Matter and this and that, and I don't know. It's kind of interesting getting his take. Feeling like he made some comments about whenever I get stopped by the police, I immediately get this feeling of fear and blah blah blah. And
It was almost as if he didn't want to be ramped into the side of the government on all this. He wanted to be clear that as a black man, he still fears police. But I did my best to help these police officers who were brought in.
Yeah, I mean, dude, honestly though, I can tell you as someone who's former law enforcement myself. As you guys know, I spent one day on the force in Redford, really tough town. Of course, I did a ride along, but it counts in my book, so good enough. I was on the beat for a day, and I can tell you, even someone with my extensive background in law enforcement feels nervous and scared shitless every time I get pulled over by a cop, which has been many times. I still have that feeling like, oh fuck, what are they going to find? What did E leave in my car? Oh, what did I leave in here before that I forgot about?
Dude, I get paranoid every time.
Dude, that feeling is not exclusive to any one race. That feeling is with all of us.
When I'm crossing the border, I don't even do drugs. Yet I've always, for some reason, just have this thought, like, what if I had a friend that... I have friends that smoke pot, I guess. What if one of them one time left? I don't know. To be your point, I guess, is that every time I've ever gotten pulled over, I feel nervous as fuck, and I don't do anything.
Yeah. No, I
Other
feel
than
the
maybe
same
speeding.
way.
I mean, what I was getting pulled over for.
Yeah. It's tough, man. It's tough. His shit parents, by the way, the guy that killed all the people, Micah Johnson, his parents talked to the Blaze yesterday and were crying. And I don't know, dude. I don't know if I buy that. For some reason, I just like to think that if you're living at home with someone, you're living with your parents, and have all this bomb-making material, is it possible that nobody would have any clue that this is going on?
Do you think that Mr. and Mrs. Fady know the level of monstrosity of E?
No.
That's the question, right?
You don't think so? E?
I'm sure that
Your
you want to talk about an
your-
ignorance is bliss situation.
Hi, Miss Fady, by the way.
Do you don't? But you don't think when you leave the house, like to come over here, she goes down there and searches all your shit and.
There's not really much to search.
But I'm just thinking that if you were building bombs to take Jay out or something,
No way.
like
Or
she'd
doing
see
tactical
that.
moves in the backyard.
Tactical moves.
The thing that bothered me most about that interview, though, is how they're like blaming the government, basically. Like, oh yeah, he went off to the army and he came back really disillusioned. I mean, really disillusioned.
Yeah.
Something happened there.
He's not the same man.
Like,
that
how
he
about
went
your
in
kid's
as.
just a dick?
Yeah, he's kind of a dope and an asshole, and what he.
In the context of if I were building something or if I was getting an arsenal, I suppose, dude, there's no way I could get it past that. Like past. She would. It would be very. I don't believe so. I don't believe for a second that I could get away with doing anything significant before she would find it.
I hear
Or
that,
understand that something's happening in the house. I just don't believe it.
take this for what it's worth, but I hear, and this is just through absolutely no research whatsoever on my part, but through the Twitter world and through social media.
Are you about to engage in speculation and conjecture?
I am on a big time level. But there are plenty of people out there saying that, oh yeah, his sister posts similar shit about,
Really?
you know, really taking it to an extreme, as far as, you know, fuck Whitey and, you know, fuck the police. That whole angle is going on, and the mom has said shit, and so it sounds like a pretty militant fucking family, and so for them to act like this is totally well, how could this possibly happen?
Out of left field.
Yeah, it doesn't ring true. Now, you know, I apologize if that's completely wrong and they're just a God-fearing family that goes to church 3 times a week. I apologize. But doesn't look like that's the case. Just saying.
Speaking of left field, Mike.
You want to get to left field?
I think we
Should we
should
take a quick break? Yeah, I got to
need-
piss for
and
no
I'm
other
hungry.
reason than that. And E's hungry. Let's get some
Okay.
food in E's belly. Let me piss, and then we'll be back
Yeah.
with E calling part of the Tiger game.
So we'll do our 7th inning stretch,
yeah.
and then we'll come back and let E do his thing. All right, we'll do that next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zott Ford and Holly. We're much closer than you think, and we specialize in getting folks out of their lease up to 12 months early. It doesn't matter what brand or how many miles you have on it. The team at Zott Ford will assist in terminating your current lease with no penalties and hook you up with a sweet new Ford. So dump your overpriced, over-mileage lease and let your friends at Zott Ford make your wildest dreams come true. Check out our astonishing deals and massive inventory at ZottFord.com.
Detroitcast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
Amazon.
All right, welcome back to the Detroitcast. Mike and Jay. And Big E. The All-Star game is tonight, right?
It is indeed. We have the Home Run Derby.
Last
that
night.
Exciting event.
Giancarlo Stanton.
Crushed it.
Yeah. What do you have, 63 home runs or something?
Like 61, I thought I heard.
Yeah.
But that was like, the prior record was 41 or something. He just killed it.
He beat the defending champion, Todd Frazier, last night. He won 20-13 in the final. Over the Derby's 3 rounds, he totaled 61 homers, with 64% of them traveling over 440 feet.
Dude.
That is a monster home run. He had the longest home runs of the night, too. 2 of them, 497. Holy shit. Each of the first 2 rounds.
I can't watch those anymore, man.
No?
It's just over and over. And back.
Is it still?
I don't even know if it's still.
It's the worst home run call, in my opinion, ever.
Back.
Yes, I hate it so much. Dude, I'm sure Berman, in his time, I guess.
Dude, you're talking like 92, 93.
When we
that
were
was
in high
his
school,
time.
it was.
Yeah, after high school, I remember watching him in college.
Well, even that he could go,
dude. That was really out of the ordinary at the time, and him making up names for. Oh, look at the little Thurman Thomas go or whatever. You know, he'd make every player. He had a little thing for him, and that was unique and cool for like 2 seasons. And dude,
it was unique and cool for longer than that. But 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was like, oh, okay.
So I don't know if he's still doing it, but my point is, Home Run Derby kind of sucks to watch. In my opinion,
it was fun to be at when they had it in Detroit for the All-Star game. We went to that.
I did not. I went to the game itself, but I did not go to the Derby. Apparently, you could just sit out in the outfield and definitely get a ball.
Yeah.
And your chances of getting it were like 98%.
It's pretty cool, but I didn't even watch it. I just don't care. Half the names I don't even recognize anymore. But anyway, it got us to thinking about.
Well, it's good that we have a resident baseball expert, though, because you and I are not on top of the game like we used to be.
Right.
So it's nice that E is. He's definitely on top of the Tigers.
Yeah.
And in during this week where we don't have Tiger games until the last part of the week, he's going to fill that void for us all.
Right. As we learned, I don't know, a week or 2 ago, that E, when he was a youngster, very, very young E, when he's always been into broadcasting, and his initial thought was that, man, I'd love to be a sports broadcaster, and I think he was a fan of Ernie Harwell and all that kind of stuff.
Even Blaha, like I watched a lot of the Piston videos back in the day of stuff, so I guess George Blaha was a big inspiration for sure.
Pistons game might be a little tougher to call just because of the fast-paced nature of it.
So, but are we going to hear some nuances that only Blaha would?
I don't know. You will not. I don't think the few phrases he has, I don't think fit as well in baseball.
Off the high glass.
Yeah, 2 and 20 left in the corner.
Down the lane off the high glass.
The high glass, the deuce.
Sweet string music.
I don't think some of that stuff is going to apply. Although it's funny because my favorite Lions, like I hate the guy who does the Lions now. What's his name? Dan Miller.
Really?
Dude, I liked Mark Champion so much better.
He was so down on the team by the end.
Oh, I'm sure that's.
I'm again, not again.
I always wondered, and I wonder if that was the reasoning. I'm not sure.
Probably.
But I like him, and he does the Piston games because Blaha does the TV. He does the radio when he's not doing TV or whatever.
Yeah, I don't mind Champion.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel, is that holy mackerel?
Yeah.
Do you have a catchphrase?
I'm a champion. It's crazy, isn't it?
That we should be heads up for?
No,
what could E's catchphase be?
I don't know.
Boom goes the dynamite? No, I'm just kidding.
We'll just have to see what happens.
What has E said on this show that could become a catchphrise? Is he,
Fuck, dude.
Fuck, dude.
Fuck, dude. He fucking killed that one.
It's a home run. It's like,
fuck, dude.
It's going back.
Or whatever.
Fuck, dude. It's gone.
Dude. It's gone. Or whatever.
That's not quite up there with like some of the greats, I guess.
You'd have to run every one of E's broadcasts on a 3-minute delay. Every time one goes yard, most people are like, back, gone. And then they show the Detroit highlights. Fuck, dude. It's all beeped out. Yeah, some interesting stuff going on at the ballpark there at Comerica
maybe it'll
Park.
finally
Interesting
draw-
young broadcaster out there calling the games.
Maybe it
With
draws
his,
some
his
attention.
signature fuck, dude.
Clearly inspired by Blaha. So, E, you ready for this? Fill our void, man.
Basically, we pick up a game
What you're going to do is
and
I'm going to have you hit.
hit play on it. Okay. So Jay and I just picked a game from last week. I believe this is July 7th.
We wanted to make this as seamless as possible for E, so we're giving him the top of the lineup.
Yes. So basically, we've got a runner on first. It's 3-2 Detroit, top of the fifth. And we didn't want to pick an inning that was like filled with a lot of shit. We just wanted it to kind of be just like a normal inning. So you'll see Cameron Maben come up to bat. Kinsler, I believe, bats.
Kinsler, Maben, and the man,
The big
Cabrera
man,
himself.
Cabrera. Yeah.
God damn it, dude.
All right, E, you ready? Do we have some music for E? Can we give
well,
him just because we can't have the
How
audio
about
on
some,
during the
how
game?
about some ambiance?
Do you have any ambience you
Yeah,
can
I
give him?
I can do something here, I think.
I guess here we are. Got here at top of the fifth here. Ian Kinsler 1 for 2 for day. Throw back to the whoever's on first. anyway, Hutchinson on the mound here. As I said, Ian Kinsler here 1 for 2, hitting 289 this year. Not bad for a leadoff hitter, I suppose. What? Here comes the pitch. It's no pitches so far. Man, that went right down the middle. I don't know if Kinsler, I guess, didn't like that one so much. I don't know. Just wasn't his style, I guess.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
There's like graphics rolling by the screen, and he's just blowing on. Yeah, I wouldn't want to tell people to vote Kinsler. Hashtag vote Kinsler for the All-Star game coming up, folks.
Come
on, E.
I'm trying here.
Little action in the bullpen here.
Yeah, of course, the right-hander, B. Schlutz, warming up in the bullpen. This is serious for the Tigers, you know. Obviously, with being the wild card hunt here, they're only 4 games out of the wild card, and Toronto is one of the teams they need to beat. So, good win here wouldn't be a bad situation.
No, it wouldn't. Well put.
Good win would not be a bad situation.
Way to go, Homer.
0-1 to count. A little high and inside there. Oh.
Did he hit him?
Or he was hit by a pitch.
Really inside. I guess it must have been really inside because.
Kinsler, that's got a
Oh
smart.
no, man! That just snapped the jersey. The jersey does count though, so now we
think
got
it hit him
runners
in the
on
elbow.
first and second for the Cameron Maben. This guy 310 in the last 7 games, so not bad. I don't know what his situation with runners and scoring position is.
You should.
0.
You're the one that would deliver that information. People sitting on their couches are going, I wonder what he's like with runners in scoring position.
So does the
For
commentator.
1 with a walk today. The pitch coming. Here we go. Oh, there's a.
What happened?
Wow.
Right.
Well put, E.
What happened?
Right to the third baseman.
And then what?
That's a double play. Damn. That's not good.
Or it wasn't a double play, but whatever. Close. It was close to a
I
double
thought
play.
it was a double play. That was a nice
replay here. Yep.
Not a bad move.
Donaldson with a sweet plume throws over to second, over to first.
Wow, I guess he
missed him.
just beat out the throw there at first, I guess. So at least that was solid. Good hustle. Runners at first.
Who's up now, E?
Runners at first and third.
Who's that? Who's that?
The Miguel Cabrera over 2. Yeah, had a little bit of a drinking problem there back a few years ago, but seems to have cleared that up. So, or at least his batting average is, well, no, down a little bit right now. To be fair, though, maybe he's hitting the bottle again. But here we go. 0 for 2 tonight. Tigers could really use a run, as we know their bullpen sucks. So, in the 5th, it'd be good to get some insurance runs there. I know they're up 2, but. Yeah, this is right where you want to hit them.
They've drawn blue lines on the screen for E.
So anyway, yeah, he's not doing so hot here recently as up 231 in the last 7. Not good. But again, maybe you can break out of that funk today. Swing.
What was that?
Sweet.
That ball was fouled into the stands. So that's a strike.
All right, I've had about enough of this. Anyone else?
Fuck me.
Wow, dude.
Tried. I kind of tried too. I kind of tried.
That was a legit effort.
There we go. That's
What
a
happened?
foul as well. 0-2. Now, not a good.
You don't do a real solid job of taking in what's on the screen. It's like you're worried too much about what you're going to say next.
Yeah.
Instead of taking in, like there's a lot of things that go on in a baseball
know what,
game. You can
dude?
point out people in the crowd. You can point out the bat boy and wonder what he's all about.
Right, I know.
And
I
you
really
don't tend
wish
to do that.
Can we do this like in a week or so? Can I get a
We
redo?
gave you a week.
Well, no, not. I know.
In fairness.
He gave me a weekend. It's right, but
I
dude,
think
it
we
was
could give
nothing.
you
Dude,
10
it was nothing.
years.
No, dude, but it was nothing. Sitting here and doing it, like actually watching it happen, like it was. I couldn't. I guess I should have practiced some. Is what I should have done. Like I did relatively look up these 4 guys, kind of, but like not like. I probably should have gone through a few fake endings myself. Like I could just that
Not
was
as
just
easy as it looks, is it?
definitely not as easy as it looks. I mean, I don't know. I kind of tried there. That was definitely not some of these times where like my singing attempts, quote unquote. That was me putting some level of an effort in there.
Yeah.
That was not good, honestly.
Yeah, that was tough. That needs some work. I think Rod's job is safe. I think Mario is safe. I think all of them are safe. I think even the guys in the minor leagues, even the guys at the high school level,
I think individuals not yet born now who may even think about doing this in the future are safe.
are safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not your strong suit. I don't know if I got that set up right
No,
soon.
you're
but,
fine. Should be fine.
Anyway.
God, that was.
Wow, that was tough. I got to be honest. I don't mean to rag on you. I know you've been
right.
through a lot today, and I don't want to pile on, but that was troubling, to say the least.
I thought it
Can't
would
say
go,
I'm terribly shocked, but
I thought it would go a little better than that. Not much better.
where do you
but a
think you
little-
went wrong?
Dude, even for me, even the baseball action to me was it was just I wasn't keeping up with it, even in baseball.
I tried to get you to calm down earlier. I think you were too worked up. I don't think you'll admit it now, but I think you were too worked up about this instead of just going, I'm going to sit down and watch the TV like I always do and just talk about it.
Yeah.
And I understand that's hard to do. You think all the pressure's on, all the eyes are on you. I get it, but I think that's where you drop the ball.
Right. I would like one more shot at this like in a week if I could do the exact same amount of time. I'm not talking like a whole game by any means here, but I wouldn't mind after.
You don't want to do a whole game?
Well, no, I'd love to if I had talent, but
I don't know. I don't know if we can devote more time. to
Okay,
this,
well,
Mike.
that's fine.
I don't know. No, we could do it off air just for fun.
I'm not gonna do it off air.
Well, we
but-
could do it off air, record it, and see how it goes. But I don't know that we want
I
to.
mean that was
punish
such a
the
fail.
audience.
That was such a failure.
Okay,
that
well,
I don't think that we can commit to putting
that's
it on.
fine.
air.
I thought about jumping in at one point and doing it and turning your mic off. I mean, that's how bad it was, to be honest with you.
Well, it is what it is. I don't know. I tried.
I just kept having this like weird faith that you were going to pull it together. I thought when you went down the road of Miggy's drinking, you were pulling out of it. You were going somewhere with that, but then you just kind of just shit on him for no reason. I mean, you didn't even see Kinsler get hit on the elbow. I mean,
Yeah, you said it hit his jersey. It clearly hit
you
his
know,
I
where
looked
you,
at it-
you
I
know
wanna
where
look
you
at that
could have gone
again.
with it.
I-
Why haven't the benches cleared? They should be whipping that guy's ass on the mound. How dare you throw at Kinsler's elbow? He's an all-star.
I'd have to look at that again. I felt like I just saw the jersey movement. I didn't see the elbow.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
well, whatever.
Well, nice effort.
Sure.
You give him that.
Sure.
Have you seen this video of this teenager who wrote a poem?
The white guilt dude?
Yeah.
Nah, I've heard about this. I haven't watched it yet.
This white guilt. I can't believe how much this is taking up. Like 90% of the people I see getting arrested in these pockets of these movements going on around the country are these fucking guilty white assholes everywhere, dude. They're hilarious. Now we've got a 14-year-old who's doing a poem reading in front of his class.
Why would you ever do that?
I don't know. His name's Royce Mann.
Royce.
Oh, Royce. What are you doing, young man? It was a poetry slam at his private school in Georgia. He's going on and on about his privilege. You want to watch some of it? It's a few minutes long. What do you got, E? What's wrong? What happened?
It was just.
He's coming undone. He is coming undone.
The thing wasn't. The audio wasn't muted on my computer.
This 8th grader is brutally honest about the ways in which he is better off because he isn't black. You're going to lump Asian Americans in there? What is this with lumping all these groups together? Like, Asian Americans are really getting fucked in this country? Really? He thinks that Asian Americans are... All right. All right, let's see how Royce Mann does with his poetry read.
But the next vote up is Royce Mann.
Here comes Royce. God, he looks like a nerd, doesn't he?
My name is Royce. My poem
Speak up.
is titled White Boy Privilege.
White boy privilege.
Dear women, I'm sorry. Dear black people, I'm sorry. Dear Asian Americans, dear Native Americans, dear immigrants who come here seeking a better life, I'm sorry. Dear everyone who isn't a middle or upper class white boy, I'm sorry.
Jesus,
I have
fuck
started
you.
life at the top of a ladder while you were born on the first rung. I say now that I would change places with you in an instant, but if given the opportunity, would I? Probably not, because to be honest, being privileged is awesome. I'm not saying that you and me on different rungs of the ladder is how I want it to stay. I'm not saying that any part of me has
I hate him already.
even liked it that way. I'm just saying that I love being privileged, and I'm not
fucking
ready
love
to give
being
that
privileged.
away. I love it because I can say and not one of you is attributing that to the fact that everyone with my skin color has a dirty mouth. I love
That's right.
it because
That's right.
I don't have
Hell
to spend
yeah.
an hour every morning putting on makeup to meet other people's standards.
That's
I
right,
love
like
it
the
because
bitches
I
do.
can worry about what kind of food is on my plate instead of whether or not there will be food on my plate.
Hell yeah.
I love it because when I see a police officer, I see someone who's on my side.
Hell yeah.
To be
That's right,
honest,
speak it.
I'm scared of what it would be like if I
Jay's
wasn't
gonna
on the
snap.
top rung and
Oh,
the tables
my
were turned and I didn't have my white boy privilege safety blanket to protect me. If I lived a life lit by what I lack, not what I have, if I lived a life in which when I failed, the world would say, told you so. If I lived the life that you live.
I know, I heard that.
When I was
There's some-
born,
there's some-
I had a success story already written for me.
Is this a poem you
were
said?
given a
Yeah.
pen and no paper. I've always felt that that's unfair, but I've never dared to speak up because I've been too scared. Well, now I realize that there's enough blankie to be shared. Everyone should have the privileges I have. In fact, they
That's
should
right.
be rights instead. Everyone's story should be written, so all they have to do is get
You had
it
enough of
read.
Royce Mann?
I've had
Enough
enough
said.
of this little
Go to
asshole.
the end and see what the reaction like to this.
Oh, you know what the reaction
Oh, what do you
is.
think?
Come on,
Go ahead,
E.
E. Go to the end.
I just
What do
wanna-
you think the reaction's going to
Oh.
be to Royce Mann?
Applause.
They're going to boo him. They're going to boo him off the stage in his private school in Georgia.
I'm just, I guess.
It's time to take that ladder and turn it into a bridge.
That's right.
Oh, Royce.
Yes.
So wise.
Yes.
Oh, beyond his years.
You, sir, have it figured out.
It's that easy.
Oh, my God.
What do you even do with that? What do you do with that? Do you feel all terribly privileged? I don't know. Maybe it's just us and we have blinders on and aren't able to see it, but I don't feel terribly privileged.
God damn it. That's where we are, Mike.
Yeah. There is definitely a narrative being pushed that if you are white in this country, you are a problem, and a big problem.
The devil.
It is sad. What were we watching, those doctors upstairs? Going
Yeah, man.
on
We
and
commented
on.
about the doctors before we took a break. Then we went upstairs, and I really dislike this one guy, man.
Yeah.
It's just like
I'm trying to remember what he was saying again, what his point was. Do you remember?
Yeah, it was just on and on about basically Royce's points that, the police are out to get us. And he's making real clear, this doctor, that although I'm speaking to this tragedy and the fact that I had to care for these people, I still think police suck. I mean, that's the underlying premise of what he's saying.
Yeah.
And he wants to be very clear about that.
It's funny to me.
And then you
and-
got his white colleague next to him shaking his head like, I can't imagine. Yeah.
This is my friend, and he's black, so yeah. When you talk about the societal ills that are troubling in this country, it's kind of what we were alluding to earlier when we were talking about, like, when the police chief was talking about, dude, you can't expect police to fix all this shit. And if you really want to get broad about it And if you really want to say, because I've long said, I don't think this has very much to do with race at all. This has way more to do with class. This is a class issue. And when you have people that don't have shit, they don't have shit to lose. And so a lot of things go out the window, and people in the suburbs don't want to deal with a lot of that. And so you put an awful lot on your police departments to go in there and fucking keep it out of my neighborhood. Whatever this animalistic behavior is that's going on in some of these shitholes in America, keep it away from me. And so you just throw this on the police. If you really want to do something about it, talk about your policy people. Talk about the people that for decades haven't done shit about the problems in inner cities and poverty. I mean, that's a real issue. But I think that's where the disconnect for someone like Jay and myself comes, where it's like, dude, what you're asking so much of your police departments, asking them to bat 1,000 and talk about, you know, we've talked on and on about Black Lives Matter, and it seems like certain Black Lives Matter. And that's a real thing. When you talk about the thousands and thousands of black people that are slaughtered in this country at the hands of black people that nobody protests, nobody's outraged in neighborhoods about. Not like they are, at least not like they are with this current movement about cops. Like they're the whole problem. It's just it's a tough argument. It's a tough sell for a lot of people.
Yeah, what else we got? Don't we have a guy who tried to lift half a ton?
Why do you get sick of talking about
I don't
these
know,
things?
man. I am so fucking... I don't know. I'm sick of this story.
Yeah.
And I know it's dominating the world, and we're supposed to talk about it all, but I'm just... God damn it. I don't know.
Well, it is what it is, man.
We've got a guy who tried to lift half a ton. What
Do
happened?
you want to see it?
Yes.
I don't give a fuck about these stories. That's the problem.
Okay, then let's cut it right here. Let's be done for the day. Seriously.
Oh, we can do that. No, we'll show him. Some... where is he? What's his name? Eddie the Beast. Eddie the Beast. Deadlifting 1,000 fucking pounds, man. First human ever to do this. Is this impressive? Are you impressed by this
Well,
feat?
let's see how it turns out.
Go ahead, E.
Oh, look at that son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's a big fucking dude.
It's like a fire hydrant. Look at that upper body, man.
Yeah. He truly is the beast. Crowd's cheering for him. Come on, Eddie, you got this shit.
And it's up to his knees. Bar is bending. It's up to his waist.
And he like collapses.
Collapsed over the bar.
Wow. Passed out when blood vessels in his head burst.
Jeez. What are people doing?
Yeah.
How do you get into something like that?
I have no
I was
idea.
thinking about that over the weekend or last week when I was watching some of the Olympic trials, like track. This whole shot putting and javelin and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
imagine training that hard and that intensely for that one movement, that one event.
Yeah.
Like, I could totally see, like, hockey, soccer, basketball, sports, whatever, devoting your life and
Yeah, but
really
javelin
training to do
throw,
that. God, it's just,
shot put.
you know, everything's so technique oriented. Everything is just, you know, a half inch this way, half inch that way, and trying to perfect that. I just, man, I can't imagine years of that.
Yeah, I can't
that,
either.
That the payoff would be that, you know, I don't know, outstanding or...
It just doesn't seem like it's fun. Like when I think of
Right.
sports, I think of like, I liked playing baseball. I liked playing football. I liked when I was younger playing soccer. Like I liked doing those things. I can't imagine. That's why I could never get behind like track. No offense to E, like marathon running or something. It was just. It seemed like that's what you had to do to get good at the other sports. You had to build your endurance, so you had to go through the work part of it, which was running and conditioning. But it didn't seem fun to me. Shot put feels the same way. Like, okay, I'm gonna. So is that the one where you spin in a circle
Yeah.
and then just like shot put it out? It's like, dude,
hammer throw, shot put, javelin, all that
Yeah.
shit. Like, dude, your whole life, that's the one event you do, and you see their bodies, and it's like you shaped your body to do this as best as it can.
Yeah.
Crazy to me.
Yeah.
What's the end game, man? So you go to the Olympics and get a gold medal?
Yeah.
Okay, you've achieved that personal achievement. Awesome. That's the pinnacle. And then what?
Good question.
Become a track coach or something?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, this guy's really proud of himself as the first guy. I'll go down in the books as the first guy to deadlift 1,000 pounds. It's like, okay. Your head almost popped when you did it, if that means anything.
We're not meant to lift that much.
Dude, our bodies are not meant to do that at all. You've seen remember the guy that his butthole prolapsed?
No.
Yes, dude. It like fell out of his fucking pants.
A weightlifter?
Yes. He did one of those, and his butthole fell out of him. We've seen guys like knees snap and like bones break.
It's those bars that trouble me, just the bending in the bars.
Yeah.
You always picture the thing just snapping.
Yeah, it's a lot of weight, man. I don't want to see the prolapsed anus video. Ugh. That stinks. Anyway.
Yeah, dude, there's just no point. That's what I don't get about the weightlifting, though. I don't get it. Even the Olympians, like, I guess if you get to the Olympic level, it's one thing. At least you win a gold medal in this worldwide comp. But these guys that, like, I don't think people
the
like him
point
are
is the same as in any Olympic event, to be the best in the world. My thing is, I just can't imagine focusing on that single event, like that single movement is your athletic thing.
Right.
Like that. I'm going to deadlift that. And you work and all the technique and all the lifting that goes into that. I don't get it, man.
Yeah, especially if you're like 20th best in the world. You know, when you see these guys, like, yeah, I just keep getting murdered by the Beast. The Beast lifts way more than I do. Like, what is your incentive to keep going and be like, to just do that move over and over? I don't know. It doesn't
That's a good point. You're at your
either.
20th, and you don't really even you're probably not gonna get to number one.
Like on some weird level, I get the Beast. It's like, yeah, I'm the guy. I'm the guy in the world that's the shit. I guess they tied. There were 2 or 3 guys that deadlifted 400 and like almost half a ton, including him. And so then he did this again afterwards, like, oh, fuck those guys. I'll show you what I can do. Put another weight on there. And then went over there and almost popped his head doing it.
Oh,
so I can kind of get the Beast, but the other guy's down the chain. I don't know, man. Doesn't seem right. Just see, by the way, before we get to email, Erin Andrews.
Yeah.
The judge, she scored a big victory. The judge is basically saying that asshole that filmed her cannot use his bankruptcy to get out of paying her $28 million.
Yeah, so she got $55 million judgment against, half of it against the hotel, half against the perp, right?
Yeah, close
so
to.
the
Like 27 against the hotel, 28 against him.
Right, so the perp was like, oh, I'll just file for bankruptcy and discharge it that way. And yeah, they're not going to allow him to discharge it, so good for her. She can try to collect against him.
And she won't be able to, but it just basically means he won't be able to get out from under it. It essentially says his life is over. Like, at no point will he make money that doesn't have to go to her.
Right.
So I don't know how to feel about this one. Like, I hate this guy so much. I think that that video really troubled me. But at the same time, like, ruin someone's life forever. Like, that dude's never going to make $28 million. He's penniless, living in his dad's basement. But if it deters one fucking asshole from peeping Tom invading someone's privacy, I wish they'd throw the book at these fucking assholes, that these hackers and
this dude in Michigan
peeping
recently
Toms. Fuck all of them.
Wasn't there a coach, some sort of track coach or something in Michigan that was just charged with filming?
It was a crew team. Yeah,
crew team. Chicks changing
on the west side of the state, kind of by Holly, I think. I can't remember what school it was, but yeah, they.
You mean Holland?
Or by, what did I say?
Holland.
Yeah, I meant I get those confused all the time, but yeah, Holland. But yeah, they one of the girls or one of the coaches went in there and found this camera or something set up in there, and they looked at it.
Girls changing, like,
I don't get it, man. You're one click away from that shit. Like, go watch that.
Yeah,
you know, you're gonna risk everything to go film your own. God, the pull must be so strong.
Unless the only thing would make sense is if it's like, I have to see that girl, like that girl that's on the crew team. She's so hot. I gotta see her.
I'm in love with her or whatever.
And like that, but
that,
otherwise,
he's the guy posting and making money off it. I don't know.
That seems so dangerous. I mean, it's all dangerous, but I don't know. I'd love to talk to a therapist about what's going on with that, because it's never made sense to us. The whole upskirting thing or peeping Tom, like, peeping Tom shit made sense 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but
it's all available.
It's all there now.
He's the most deviant one amongst us, and he can't, I guess, articulate it enough. So we do need an extra.
That's true, but he's almost the prudest one of all of us too when it comes to like
that. That he does have some surprising lines.
Yeah, I mean, who hates vagines?
I never have said that.
I think you have actually
Quote.
said that.
Yeah,
I hate vagina. End quote.
I've never said that.
He likes the feel of vagina. He
I mean, I
just
like
doesn't
fucking
like.
girls. I just don't. Yeah, I don't have any desire.
You've never tasted one.
No,
Yeah.
and I.
You don't like the looks of them.
Hell no.
I think everything about them is. I think it is disgusting if you think about it. But I mean, I think.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. But I think penis is gross. I think everything related to sex is disgusting in reality to me. I think the human body is disgusting.
I kind of agree with that, but yeah. Not the vagina. I'd say that about everything but the vagina and titties.
I love titties. I do love titties.
Before we get to email, Mike, got to mention our buddy Mark Leibovitz from LPL Financial. Y'all know Mark at LPL Financial by now. He's offering our listeners a great special. If you are one of the next 10 listeners to make an appointment for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation portfolio review, he will give you a $50 gift certificate to your favorite restaurant, which yesterday we determined would be good for 25 pizzas at $5 pizzas.
Each. Yes.
I'm pretty sure that most people going in there aren't going for Little Caesars.
Yeah.
You don't know. I mean,
If you've been thinking about calling Mark, now is the time to do it. Call 248-626-2000 and ask for Mark.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
I mean, but the argument would be made is if you went to him, you could get a free month's worth of food. If you went to him and got a $5 pizza.
With your $50 gift certificate, if you got it for Little Caesars, as you told us yesterday, that would get you 25 pizzas at $5 each. So,
well, technically with the taxes, whatever, but
right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my
it's
God.
$5.30 technically for a $5 pizza.
All right, so
several
24
listeners,
pizzas instead of 25.
Several listeners have written in and counseled against my becoming a dance mom.
Really?
Including Curtis, who says, Jay, if Sweetbie's taking classes at a certain dance studio, do not get roped into the competition team. It's an endless drain on cash.
Really?
That's good advice.
Are you at the place he mentioned?
Maybe.
What is why would the competition thing be
They
a
just
bigger
make them
drain?
up, probably. They're just, they can always have one. How come we bi-monthly, every month, have a big competition, right? Like,
Yeah, apparently there's like recreational dance where you can just take classes and she can just do the ones that she likes.
Can she do a home dance class?
Right. She's been doing that for about a year, and
Right.
finally we're paying for one. But yeah, and then you get into the competition level, and that's what I described yesterday, where you have all these numbers and you have a different outfit, different dress and makeup for every number, and it can get out of control. And as he suggests, they can just be like, yeah, another competition next week.
and they'll just always probably tell you that, well, this one isn't maybe the biggest, but we need this one to get to this one. And then they'll pretty soon it'll be out of state competitions and nationals and
Yeah, this might be a tough one. Anyway, then Derek writes in, Jay, I was just like you. I still think normal flossing is a pain in the ass. I hate using the string and getting slobber on my fingers, just making a shitty mess. Also, it takes too much time. I would go to the dentist for a cleaning, and it would look like a murder scene from my gums bleeding. I would get the lecture about how important flossing is every time, and I would lie my ass off. Yeah, it's weird. I floss regularly, so I don't understand why you look like Carol from The Walking Dead after killing a zombie. As the lady's up to her elbows in my blood. I tried these things called Reach floss heads, however, and it changed everything. It's basically a toothbrush handle with a changeable floss pick in the tip. Do you guys? I've seen these things. Have you used them?
I have the portable one.
Takes only a few seconds to floss and no mess. I'm hooked on these things, and the dentist and hygienist say my gums are healthier than ever.
Really?
I have to look into that. Yeah, they're these little bow-looking things.
I think I have a packet of them upstairs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Aaron writes in on the subject of Pokemon Go with a few comments. Jay, I don't and will never play this game. I am aware of what a vagina feels like, so this game is not applicable to me.
Ah, I see.
That is not a fair statement to be made about the people playing this game, and I'm not even playing it. I'm just telling you from what I saw, it's not a fair statement.
Pokemon Go is a new game from Niantic, the makers of Ingress, which was the precursor to Pokemon Go.
Yeah, they released a couple years ago. Not really, but...
So Jay, you were right that the next iteration of this game would be huge. It's just that your timing's off. The follow-up to Ingress, Pokemon Go, is absolutely fucking huge. So Ingress got improved upon, I guess, by this Pokemon Go. If Pokemon Go is anything like Ingress was, then company policies will have to be written to limit gameplay while at work.
Really?
Imagine these assholes walking around.
Yeah. For sure I can.
Later, turd nugget. P.S. Niantic was born inside Google and built on the Google Maps infrastructure. Google spun
looks like
the company
Google Maps.
off. Really?
Yeah.
Google spun the company off into its own entity for some reason last year. Yeah, so thus the Gmail access and all that shit. We will save the rest for tomorrow, Miguel.
Okay. All right. Well, we're making our way through this week. Thanks, everybody, for hanging with us. Today, if you're listening live on Tuesday, is
Amazon
Prime Day. So
Amazon.
go enjoy the sweet deals out there. Just make sure you use our portal. And with that, we'll call it a day, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll see you tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.